Hey, everybody. It's me, Chris, from Rise and Glory Farm, and I'm here with Elizabeth Tennant today, President, Chattahoochee Horse Archers. We've got involved with a new project. I had some old arrows that had plastic vanes on it, and we stripped the vanes off, cleaned up the shaft, and we're going to make our own flu arrows. Stick with us today, and you're going to see how Elizabeth spirals these flu feathers on the shafts.
Hey, I'm Elizabeth with Chattahoochee Horse Archers. Chris and I are making some flu arrows out of some uncut feathers. Chris has been preparing them for me. They come looking just about like this. And we cut them to length. They start out about 12 inches, and he's cut about 2 inches off of most of these. And he's also trimmed the backside of the quill, so we have a flatter surface to glue. And you'll notice that this one's a little fanned out as opposed to this one. So what I want to do is, you see how all the little pieces of the feather are going down in this direction. That's the side I want to start with at the top of the arrow shaft. And we have marked this arrow shaft every ½ inch to about 6 inches. We may or may not go down that far. It just depends on the length of the feather itself. So I'm going to put a little glue on the leading edge of this feather and line it up on this first dot that we made, and I'm spiraling it around to skip so I'm putting on every other dot so that I can spiral a second colored feather in between. So I'm going to pull this around and hold it until it sticks for just a second, and once that beginning edge is stuck on there, I can put glue all the way down this feather. And I'm just using regular super glue. We've just been figuring it out as we go, so this is what we figured out works best for us. So I just take and I hold the feather like this, and I spiral it around so that every time I come back around to the dots, the feather goes across every other dot just like that. And then when I get down to the bottom, I'm going to pull it tight and just hold it there for a minute. Make sure that the glue sets well enough that it doesn't peel back off. Alright, so I'm going to leave this end here loose. I don't need to mess with it yet. I'm going to come in with this other color feather after I'm fluffing all these little pieces out, because that's what's going to create the drag and the parachute effect when our arrow is returning to earth after we shoot something like the kabak, or if we're doing mogu, if it ricochets off, it'll slow it down for us. Alright, so I'm going to get my white feather. We're looking at the direction again of the pieces of the arrow of the feather. They're all going to go down, and that's the direction that we want to spin this on this arrow. So we're going to add a little bit of glue to the leading edge again. I'm going to make this start on exactly the opposite side of the yellow feather, but I'm still going to line it up with the dot. So I'm going to press this back side on and then swirl it around so that it goes across that dot, and just hold it for a second so that I know that it's stuck. And these don't have to be perfect. You know, they're messy, they're fun. These are a lot more fun to make to me than regular arrows. Alright, so now that's stuck. I'm gonna go down the length of the arrow like I did, or the feather like I did with the other, with some super glue. And then we're just gonna spiral it down in between the yellow feather. Alright, so I'm holding the arrow in my right hand, and I have the feather in my left, and I'm just working my way in between the feather that's already here and lining it up with the dot, those ½ inch dots in between the previous ones. And if the pieces of the feather get stuck under there, it's not a big deal. You can just pull them out when you're done. I'm going to pull that tight and hold it. And hopefully not glue my fingers to the shaft, because I've already done that. Alright, now that our feathers are stuck, I'm going to go through and fluff them out. Alright, now I've got this scraper here. This is what we use to remove the plastic vanes that were on these shafts. You just lay it up against the shaft of the arrow, just like this, and scrape the fletching off. I'm going to actually use this to cut the pieces of the fletchings on here that I don't want. So I'm going to look right here at the end. I didn't glue all the way down. I'm going to find a place where the feathers are still good and they match up, and I'm going to cut both sides and pull them off. And I want to lay this really flat at an angle so it shaves the feather out of the way. And I don't want too blunt of an end on here so that it doesn't cut my hand if I can avoid it. Now I'm going to go do the white one. Get rid of those little feathers. Lay that flat and cut through it. Alright, and then anything that's left on here that I don't like, whoops, I can just come in here and scrape it off. Clean it up, make it look pretty. Now on either end, at the leading edges of the feathers, you can put a dot of glue to make sure they stay on. And occasionally I'll look through, and sometimes places won't set very solidly against the shaft, so I'll come in and put a little dab of glue here or there just to add some extra stability. And there you have it.
Well, we've been working all day on these flu arrows. Elizabeth and I made a dozen of them. This is going to be our first shot. I'm shooting my new Tartar Alley bow, 50 pounds. We got a bludgeon tip on here, blunt tip, with our new spiral flu arrows. Here's the test flight. Wish me luck. Bullseye. Oh, there's cat.
Nice.
In the water.
Don't fall!